Hey, what's up, everybody? I was just gonna get to doing some work on my boat here. I'm getting ready for a trip to Comanche next week for a team event that's going on. It's kind of the last tournament of the year. It's my second. It's gonna be my second tournament ever. And if you guys watched the other videos I have, you know that I didn't do that great there. But I had a really good time, and I met some cool people. And so I signed up for this other one, and I got some time off, and I'm gonna head back over there. The first and foremost, like the first thing I want to upgrade is I have this mount right here. Okay, if you can see, this mount right here, which is basically some PVC pipe. All right, and that's how I've been mounting my fish finder. Well, I had purchased a fish finder mount, a Yak Attack one, and I thought it was the correct one months ago when I first got this boat, and it was the wrong one. It didn't fit my fish finder, so I had to make something work. And so I had this PVC mount that I made, and so I used this, and I just basically I'm using duct tape and zip ties to hold it together. So yeah, so that's how I've been using that fish finder. The other thing is I have my battery inside mounted in here, and if you could see right here, it's just wires, and I've just been basically like attaching the wires to my battery and just going from there. I have like a Tupperware that the battery sits in, and then the wire goes through the Tupperware and it sits in that. So, and that's what I've been getting by on in order to run my fish finder. I also, the way I've run so far, I ran my transducer. I have PVC holding my transducer on, and if I pull this out, I can show you your mount. So where my wheels go, I made this tube. You can see it's kind of squared out. I basically heated up the PVC and I fit it. I pushed and forced it in there, and now I have a. It just slides in, so it stays in place. This is my fish finder. I've got the Lowrance. Let's see here. If I could do this one-handed. Probably gonna drop this and break it now. Okay, let's try this. Why is this so hard? I'm gonna set you down for just a second. I don't know, upside down? No, I was right. Okay, well, I've got the Hook 4, and this one's got chirp, and it has GPS, and it's got a card in it with maps, and so that's the one I've been using. So basically, I'm gonna upgrade that. I want to change over. I have right now, I told you my battery was mounted inside. I was using this really big. This is This is a really big, like it's like a 10 amp hour. Yeah, 10 amp hour sealed lead. So I'm changing over. I'm changing over to a 7 amp hour, a smaller 7 amp hour. And I'm going to wire it into a box. Okay, and this box here has has a sealed gasket around the edge. Pretty good clip. This thing's hard to even open, but I don't want to be able to open it very easily. And I'm thinking about what I want to do is get this thing. I want to change the whole configuration to where I have this box back here, okay? And oh, and I was also going to upgrade my box. I had my crate. The crate that I had was a regular square crate, and it fit back here nicely, but I want to upgrade to this, and I'm going to make this crate so that it sits up higher on top, because if you look down the way that this Slayer is, if you look down here, this right here, the steering plate for the rudder is actually higher than the back of it. So my box has been sitting on this thing all season, and it turns back and forth, and it causes a lot of resistance, which has, and between that and the rudder upgrade and not upgrading the steering, I've got a pretty loose situation going here. So I'm going to fix that too. Hopefully I can get most of this done, if not all. I think I'll get it all done today before the tournament. I got about a week before the tournament, so I got a little bit of time to, if I need to get some different parts and stuff. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned, and we'll get this going for you. Hey, what's up guys? It's the next day. I think it's just gonna be like a walkthrough on the mods. If there's something that you guys think you want to see, let me know and I'll do it. A lot of the stuff I did is new to me. It was ideas that I came up with and I haven't tested them yet, but I still kind of want to do a walkthrough on my boat. One of my major mods that I did, I moved the transducer for my fish finder underneath the boat instead of having it hanging off the side in the back. And I think, I don't know, I didn't want to have it in the back, but it seemed like it worked out best this way, and especially for wiring, because I set up a new wiring system. I put in a new battery, and I made a little bit like a really easy battery box just so that I had some plugs, and this way I could charge the battery. It's a smaller one, so it's a little bit lighter. So it's I'll get to all that. I'll show you what I did. I'm gonna put the whole boat together, and then I'm just gonna do a walkthrough, and this will be just a quick walkthrough on my boat and what I changed and the things that I did. So check it out. Let's see. Okay, so I guess we'll do this tip to tail, so to speak. So up front, I was actually planning on I was going to put my transducer here, well, either on one side or the other, probably on this side, because all the wiring was on this side. But I found it difficult because I would have had to leave it on the boat, and I have to car top this boat all the time. So if I was going to leave the transducer on the boat and it was going to be here, detachable, moved over, it'd be really hard for me to car top, and so I needed to be able to remove it and stuff, so I couldn't. But yeah, as far as that goes, I kind of bailed on that idea. And so I did something else. I put it underneath the boat. I'll show you some footage of that. But I decided to put it underneath the boat because I ended up putting it through the scupper hole in the back. And the way that it mounted nice and flush with where the keel is, and how there's the way that the way the hull is made on this one. It has like tunnels through it, so I was able to kind of tuck it away to where I won't be scraping it on anything if I go into shallow water or anything. Okay, so basically, before, if you've seen my videos before, you know that I had my my mount here for my fish finder, and it was straight up.
like it went straight up on the boat. So it was right about here, and honestly it was getting in my way when I wanted to cast and anything I wanted to do. So I wanted to bring that fish finder closer to me and get it off to the side a little bit. So I put it over here off to my left side. I just made a little PVC mount. This is a hack. If you Google Kayak Hacks for rail mounts, and I'll put, you know what, I'll even connect the video in my video. The guy who makes it, he made them a long time ago, a couple years back, and they're really good hacks for doing this stuff, as long as it's like light duty. And I wouldn't do a rod holder with this, honestly. It's not very strong in the base, but for this purpose, you know, I'm not putting a lot of weight on it, so it's okay. So this is just a 1 1/4 PVC. I connected it just with some elbows, and here you'll see I did a super modified, like I took a piece of PVC and I cut it and I melted it, and I put the screw through it so that I could mount that. And so basically I just I made this like a mount, and I put screws through this mount. This mount is part of there's a plastic mount that comes with this. Actually, let me see if I can find it. I think I have it right in here. So this was what the Lowrance came with, and see that basically that went there. And so I popped that off of here, and I used this bracket in order to mount it to the PVC, and then I put a screw through it, and I put a wing nut so that I could tighten it on the fly. And I'm gonna see how that works out. I'm not sure yet how it's gonna work, but hopefully that'll do what I need it to do. But you can see here on the scupper, this is what I put a 1.5 inch ABS through the scupper, and I basically it was real loose, so I just took some duct tape and I wound it around it, and I kind of twisted it around it and pushed the pipe up into the tube, and I measured it off, and I attached my transducer to that and ran the wire for it up through the middle. Now the transducer has a lot of wire, and I didn't want to cut it. I didn't want to, in case I sell it and somebody wants to use it for their boat, or maybe even I'll want to use it for a boat later or something. I wanted to keep the wiring, so I didn't want to cut it down or splice it and do any of that. And so what I did was I took this box. It's got like a waterproof box, but I just cut this part in the side right here, and I ran the cabling into it, and I'm kind of able to like push the cable into the box, like when I unplug the transducer and put all the cable in here, and it goes underneath this plate that I put in the back, which is my new spot that I put my larger crate on. So that's another upgrade that we went to. So I'll get to that in a second here. So for power, I basically got this. This is a ammo box from Harbor Freight. Okay, it cost me $5.99 plus tax. What I did a really basic battery box. I actually went to the auto store and got one of these adapters. It's a splitter, and it came with this the male cigarette lighter adapter. So what I did was I cut the male off of that. Then I took the splitter and I put tabs on it like these to put onto a 7-volt battery. And this is just, I mean, that's a 12-volt battery. This is a 7 amp hour 12-volt battery. Actually, what I paid for most of this stuff was a little bit more expensive than I wanted to. I'll put some links to Amazon where you can get all this stuff so much cheaper. You could probably do this build for like $30. As a matter of fact, for what I built this one, you could probably build 2 of them. Because I just paid for the battery. I ended up paying like, I think I paid $30 for the battery, which was crazy. And I saw where you can get 2 on Amazon for the same price. So I threw a flashlight in here in case it's dark out and I don't have one on me and I gotta go and do any of this wiring or work on it. But so basically, I took the male, and you could see where I taped it here. I took the male part of the plug off of that, and I connected it to my fish finder wiring, and then I ran that through the side of the box. I just cut a little slice right there and drilled a hole, and then I could run that wire through there. And I plan to run, if I have a USB adapter also into this, and so I'll be able to plug in my camera. Like if I have my camera up here in the back, like maybe like mounted, I was thinking about mounting my camera back here, and then what I can do is I can run a USB cable down from my camera into the battery box, and I can put it right onto that battery. I plan on getting a couple more of these batteries. That way, if I go on long trips, or if I'm fishing tournaments where I'm fishing for days, like 3, 4, 5 days or whatever, then I'll be able to switch out the batteries. So I cut some pole holders, and then I actually bolted these. These are actually bolted in. So I got that set up to where I upgraded from, before I only had 4 on my smaller crate, now I have 6. I don't necessarily take 6 poles with me everywhere I go, but it's nice to have the option of places to put poles, thing up. And by pushing that back a little further, I got it out of my casting distance. So like before, it was the box was closer in right here, and the poles were a lot closer. The way that I mounted this is, okay, so the boat, when I bought it, it came with these ties, and it had bungees on it. So what I did, let's go over here. I have no idea what I don't know if any of you guys out there have a Slayer 10, and you tournament fish, any advice on where to put that dang board, just let me know. Like, it's crazy. That thing, it doesn't fit anywhere. Like I was actually thinking about making something custom to put right on the side of this thing, because that thing is just always in the way, or I'm always scared it's gonna get broken. So what I did was, now on the Slayer, the way that this thing works out, the steering plate's right here, and this is connected directly to the rudder. All right. So the bad thing is that when I had my box in here, the box sat on the front of the steering like all the time. So, and I didn't have it lifted off, because this steering plate is actually higher than where it's mounted in the boat. This thing is actually propped up. So they didn't make it flush, or they didn't make the boat come up higher than that. So by putting this, I took this aluminum plate. This is just aluminum, like some type of aluminum, like a sign. I took this and I cut it to where it just went straight across, and I drilled holes and I used these original mounts. I didn't change anything, the screw or anything. I just put these screws straight through and mounted this plate down. My plan is, in the future, for the box, what I was thinking about doing was making some types of like feet on there, and then holes on this plate to where it fits into the holes and doesn't slide around, and it'll bungee down. So then I could just plop it on there and bungee it, and it shouldn't go anywhere at all. But the cool thing is that by doing this, I've lifted this. All this stuff is completely off of here, and even with, like, I don't know if you can see down inside of there, but even with that box down in there, with the cables, that doesn't even come back and touch it. So that's just perfect for that. And then the transducer is on this side right here, and the mount ended up just a little bit crooked, but honestly, I'm not really too worried about it. I mean, the whole boat, the whole time this boat's in the water, it moves. So, those things are made to compensate. So I think I should be okay, but if I have any issues with it, I'll let you know. Yeah, and then I don't know if you saw, like, the way I utilize my wheel system. I actually turn it upside down when I car top it. So what I do is I'll flip this thing over, and I'll put these wheels up so that they go just a little bit above the top of the boat. Turn it over, and I can roll it up to the car and put the nose on the car. And basically, what you saw me do, like the taking it off the car, I just do the reverse of that and slide it right up onto the car. So that makes it really easy for me to car top. So anyway, so that's my boat for now. Yeah, if you guys see anything that I can improve on, or you got any suggestions, or you know about some videos or some hacks for these slayers that that I could take a look at, just let me know. So that's my boat. That's the new stuff I got going on. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know if any of that's going to be helpful for you guys. If you guys have any ideas, or if you have anything that you do that you think might help me, let me know. I mean, I've only had this thing for about 6 months now, and I'm loving the heck out of it. I can't say enough about the landing gear wheels. They've helped me out tremendously. They help me load it. They help me move it. I've dragged this boat like probably 200 yards uphill, and while it's still a little heavy, I mean it's probably a lot better than the Titans, but it's still a little heavy, but I still get it where I need to go, and that's the important thing, you know. Just sometimes it's a little slower going than others. The rudder, I put that on there too. The Boondocks rudder, that thing is, I mean, it turns so much better, because I actually did use it with the regular rudder, and it was, yeah, it didn't turn very well at all. So the Boondocks rudder upgrade, definitely necessary. And it was suggested for me to upgrade the steering whenever I upgraded the rudder, but I didn't have the money to do it, unfortunately. So, and especially since I was kind of doing mine and my dad's, so it was twice the price. So what ended up happening, actually, it was just exactly like the guys at the shop said. It actually kind of messed up the steering a little bit. I had to readjust the cables, and the handle is wearing out pretty bad. So I'm looking into upgrading the handle. There's some really cool stuff out there, but it's just gonna be like a one thing at a time type deal. I'm gonna have to get by on this one for now, and then whenever I get the money up, then I'll do an upgrade on the handle, and I'll definitely make a video about that. So anyhow, so I hope you liked the video. This is just a quick one, just something to throw out there. It's something that I'm doing. I didn't get to go fishing this week because I was too busy working on the boat, but next week is Comanche, and I plan on keep taking you guys with me. I'm gonna be pre-fishing a couple of days, and this is a team event, so I'm gonna get to meet some cool people. I've already actually met some of them online, and I'm excited to get out there and get on the water. So so stay tuned. I hope you like this, and don't forget, if you're lining in the water, you ain't fishing. Peace.